Hi, my name is Morgan Hill and I'm studying TESOL Linguistics, which is now called English Language and Teaching.
Hi, my name is Tegan. I'm on the TESOL and Linguistics undergraduate programme, which is now called the English Language and Teaching.
Before the programme, I wasn't doing anything of note. It was during the COVID pandemic, so after I finished my A-levels, I took a break and then applied during COVID and then heard about the university.
I actually was working part-time as a secretary at the hospital, and I also had a part-time job at TESOL. I'd only had those since 2019, and I'd previously lived in France for 5 years. So I came back to England, but I kind of had it in mind that having learned another language, and that was what I was then interested in and what to do with it. And then when I saw the course in Lincoln, I thought, well, that looks great.
Before I applied for university, I was wanting to be an au pair, and I wanted to travel, wanted to explore, and wanted to teach English. So when I did find the course, it was something that really intrigued me. So although I didn't have relevant experience per se, I still had the internal skills that I wanted to be able to teach.
I sort of came to it through sort of my own language learning, and part of me wanted to sort of know what the answers were. How do you learn a second language really well? And also that I wanted to give what I'd learned to other people from my experience. And additionally, like Morgan, I wanted to travel.
I always liked history, so for me it's historical linguistics. I'm a bit of a nerd, and learning about how our language developed, how it started, how it got to be where it is, what it could have looked like if certain influences didn't happen in English. That for me is the most interesting, but it always was for me.
Yeah, I mean, everything we do on this course is very interesting. We don't seem to have any boring components, which is great. But I think, again, it was the teaching component, and then we did a social linguistics module, the teaching element where we did the actual going into the classroom and giving lessons, some of the most interesting. And I think it's because it's what I want to do at the end of the course. But also the social linguistics, because it also brought into play other areas of things that you don't necessarily think of, like identity, ethnicity, and how that's affected by languages.
My most memorable experience in the programme would be doing the extra teaching. As part of one of our modules, we go out and we teach, and doing the planning, doing the resource development, creating materials, making the lesson plans, preparing, practicing in front of each other of what we're going to actually teach. That was probably the most important thing for me, and I found it most rewarding out of the whole course because it gives you the most teaching experience.
Yeah, I'm going to confirm that really and say that the component that we did of the TEFL, where we went out and taught, was really the highlight of the course so far for me. Yeah, I think actually, it sounds daft because it was my first year one, but it was for the historical linguistics, and we had to do a poster and present it, and I got really into it, and I sort of did an Old English, and I sort of learnt some of the Old English script, and I spoke Old English to people when they came, so it was really good fun.
Mine would probably be one assignment I did last year, which was during the sociolinguistics module, and it's the most I've ever researched into anything ever. I had to read so many different documents, policies. I read the education policy from the 1950s, and it was all focused about language and English language in the whole, and it's something I've never done before, and it really, really interested me.
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, my dissertation topic is on owning the language. So I'm focusing on migrants that have come to the UK and how they feel about their identity, whether they feel they have any legitimate ownership of the English language as they learn it, and how that can help them invest in their learning.
And my working topic for my dissertation is about EAL students, so students in primary schools in the UK who use English as an additional language, and whether they are getting enough support, whether the teachers feel like they're supporting students enough. That's what I'm focusing on. I think as most students, I work another job. I do volunteering hours too for free Tea Fridays at the local church, where they do free school meals for primary school students, as well as TESOL support in North Lincolnshire, which is a different volunteering opportunity. The most important thing is just to have a really good schedule and making sure there's time to do assignments work, time to do actual work, as well as time to talk with friends, have that breathing space outside of uni. Just a lot of scheduling.
Okay, yeah, so time management is an issue, but it's something that, you just have to really, I think the first year you're okay, second year you have to really think about the time that you're going to give to the university studying, time for yourself, time for work. And I've kept a diary, and that's worked for me. And I've managed it all, but now I've gone up the gear up into my final year of the undergraduate degree. I've actually given up my part-time job, sort of gone for the maximum student grant level and to the bursary. So there's, if anything's sort of happening where you have got time management issues, the support here, you go to student advice and they'll help you, and you can work it out and make sure that everything's on schedule.
Supportive. They're always ready to answer any questions, kind, because when you ask stupid questions, they're ready to give you the support in an approachable way and approachable.
Okay, so I'm going to use fearless, although I agree with all those that they do apply. So I would say enthusiastic, accessible, that you can actually very easily talk to them. It's not a university where the lecturers are off somewhere and you only see them at lecture time. You can contact them very easily, and knowledgeable.
Well, my plan after graduation is to get my QTS, which I'm getting support for with BGU, so hopefully get my qualified teacher status. So hopefully in 5 years I'll be teaching, potentially abroad, and using my undergraduate degree alongside my qualified teacher status.
So I'm hoping to go and teach in Thailand, initially to sort of get my foot in the door in a school, but I would actually like to open my own language school maybe by 5 years' time.
That I'm not still organised. It is an ongoing battle, especially with education, to make sure that you're on top of everything. And I think there's the idea that at some point you're going to have it all figured out and it's all going to make sense, which hasn't happened. And maybe down the line will, but it's not happened. But the way to get better at that is to keep practicing and managing just the nature of an undergraduate degree.
I would say you're not going to believe this, but you're going to work really hard and you're going to be able to get a first. That's what I would say. Which I wouldn't have imagined at the start of the course, but I'm going to go for it and I feel like it's attainable.
I think the biggest one is Celt. Celt are the most amazing academic support that you can turn to if you need any assignment submission, any help with referencing. They're the ones always to go to, and not only just in person, they've got online support as well, which is brilliant.
I think use all the support that's available because it is there, so don't ignore it. I guess as a mature student, I've found it really comfortable, and not to feel that, oh, you're too old, or you're too this, or you're too that, it's a place where anyone can fit in.
I mean, the way that we're wanting to use it is to teach English, to speak as other languages, but some people in our degree want to use it for speech and language therapy, which is one way that I wasn't aware you could use a degree for when I first started.
Yeah, I mean, it's linguistics and TESOL, so I suppose you could go through a more linguistic route as well, and go on to MA and PhD. Most jobs these days, if you want to get into management and stuff, want a degree of some sort, so in a way you could go into anything, but obviously it does focus on linguistics and that teaching, to specialist subject to English, to speakers of other languages. So I think if that is your drive, then it's excellent, but it's not just that. It could be used as any other degree in anything.